Now, I've been itching to do a video about MisAnthro Pony for a while, and as drama seems to be the current buzzword around YouTube, now is as good a time as any other. MisAnthro Pony is a reviewer in the analysis community who, as you might already know, caused a stir when he first broke into the fandom by hitting out at other reviewers and analysts. But it turns out there is more to the story. In fact, I'm not even sure that even M.A.P himself knows quite what he has done. One of the hardest things for content creators, especially in a market as saturated as the analysis community, is gaining exposure. We all crave attention on YouTube, whether we are honest about it or not. I'll be the first to admit that that's why I'm here. I'm certainly not doing this to make friends. Attention in itself is actually fairly easy to gain. It is doing so without compromising credibility, which is the challenge, and I'll talk about the importance of credibility more in a moment. One way of quickly gaining attention is by being a dick to other individuals. This method is tried and tested, and certain members of the community, such as Lily Pete, or For No Good Reason, have already perfected it. However, they are self-aware and choose their targets very carefully, and not only that, they make sure to follow up every creative put-down with a valid criticism. You see, the key is that however brutally they ravage their victim of the week, whether it be Tommy Oliver, Keyblade Pony, or Patrick Robery, they must be seen as justified, because ultimately they are the good guy. It is a fine balance, and I believe Lily Pete has it pinned down perfectly. FNGR takes it too far on occasion, but that can have a unique appeal in itself.
There ain't a single quality to be found in this man's library that can even be slightly considered good. For a guy who openly describes himself as the element of logic, Byter sure as shit comes across as a compilation of non-sequiturs and an outlook on anything past season 2 so comically awful that his crappiness can only be matched by Shaquille O'Neal's film career.
Enter MisAnthro Pony. He was not self-aware and did not choose his victims wisely, neither were his criticisms well thought out. This was not such a problem when ranting about Byter, since he is a relatively easy target, but that soon changed.
But there's simply just too much evidence being pitted against him to even slightly consider the idea of defending his utter stupidity that occurred throughout the runtime of Season 4. Suggestions of well-established character development being rendered meaningless, taking offense towards someone's attempt to defend an episode he didn't like because it didn't fulfill his selfish headcanon, unwillingness to seek a different understanding of a subject of interest, the Philly Vanilli review that made Mr. Enter comparing Pinky to Patrick Star look like a paragon of subtlety.
GoldenFox is a more widely respected analyst, and if you know a bit of history, you'll know that he was not exactly going through an easy time when the GoldenFox rant was released. Consequently, MisAnthro Pony could no longer be seen as the good guy. The whole thing backfired, and before long the usual suspects had thrown in their contribution to the drama.
So let me get this straight, MisAnthro Pony. You and your retarded autistic voice have the audacity to come out and bitch about the tone that fucking Mage has. Oh, and by the way, I know that's your little favorite word there. Get used to it. You're going to be hearing it a lot.
M.A.P was now seen as no more than another dirty internet bully, and more importantly, he had forfeited his credibility. In a genre as highbrow as analysis, that is absolutely vital. And yes, I did just use the words highbrow genre in relation to the analysis community.
The only thing that needs to die in this fandom are all the fucking goddamn inbred, autistic, fucking Asperger, fucking goddamn mindless, fuckless, dumbless, sheepless, shit-ass fans like you.
MisAnthro Pony's next move was crucial. He backtracked completely and apologised to all involved, especially to GoldenFox, and in doing so he regained his credibility while still milking the attention. FNGR once described MisAnthro Pony's route into the fandom as kicking the door in. A more suitable metaphor would be kicking the door in, apologising, cleaning up the mess, and then paying for the house to be refurbished. You see, as much as we complain about it being overused in the show, we internet bronies love a good redemption arc, and that is what M.A.P is cashing in on. Just listen to this clip, and in particular pay attention to the sad music in the background.
This is why my GoldenFox rant was my biggest mistake. It wasn't because of the backlash, but because it did something that none of my other mistakes did. Unlike my other ones, this was the mistake that helped me realize that everything I did was wrong.
It has gone beyond mere remorse and into the realm of marketing strategy. Everything about the branding of MisAnthro Pony's channel is in some way to do with redeeming past sins. He even has a confession series, and much like with Luna in Season 1, his fanbase have completely embraced it. Now, I can buy the fact that he is completely sincere, but it doesn't matter because his selling strategy is working. I can tell you that MisAnthro Pony is not a great analyst. Sure, he's a good analyst, but that isn't enough. The editor, British Ninja, and a number of others I could name who do not have subcounts in the quadruple figures are all good analysts. MisAnthro Pony's subscribers aren't there because of his analysis. They might have stayed for his analysis, but that is not why they came.
The road to redemption is never an easy one, and it's not a fast one. But it's one that we need to take. It's the only way we can learn from our mistakes. Whatever happens in the future, you can be sure to see me on that road. MisAnthro Pony, over and out.
Remember, if you have an artwork or topic or anything pony related you'd like to see on this channel, you should send it to me through YouTube or through my Facebook, which is in the description below. Just be aware that I do reserve the right to be brutally honest. I'm Midnight, and I'll see you next time.